6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, happy Saturday. Good morning. I know I'm late. Well, no, I'm not late. I was at the dentist, and well, thank you for joining. Chibi's coming now. Hi, everybody. Today, let's say hi to Chibi first. Hi, Chib. You want to come say hi to everybody? Yeah? Yeah, it's Daddy's Day. Yep, it is. It is. It is. Mwah. There you go. Her 5 seconds of fame. Today, Young, it's I've completed 14 years of working for the same company in Eikaiwa, kind of doing like an information kind of question and answer. You guys can ask me anything you want if you are interested in teaching in Japan or the business itself, the pros, the cons. I'm going to be talking about all of it. Of course, you all know who I work for. I still will never say it on a video. But it is what it is. 14 years. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. It's not an Explore Japan today. I wanted to, have a little sit down and chat and kind of celebrate my achievements, I guess. Good morning, Vin. Auntie Leanna, Night Riders gal, thank you for being here. Mindy's mom, I'm so happy that you ladies are here. Carlitos, good morning. I think I saw Jen here. Hi, Jen Sutherland. How are you? Fang is here. Good morning, Troy. Cobra, my evil twin. Good morning. There's no tomato juice though. I'm sorry to disappoint you with no tomato juice. Trevor Canadian, or I'm calling him Trevor Canadian anyways. As I'm scrolling down, I see chibi emojis. That's awesome. I know it's a weird time for me to be live streaming, but I was at the dentist this morning. I'll talk a little bit about that for a second too. Yamamatsu, good morning and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, we got one loser in the chat already. Awesome. That's cool. So, just went to the dentist, spent 2 hours. So sorry. I thought I kind of told you guys. So some of you guys were like, hey, is Drew live streaming or not? Spent 2 hours there and, feeling better anyways. No surgeries or anything, but, they did find, over here, they're going to have to, something is going on. They did a bone graft and they did, they put one of the implants in, the titanium screws or whatever. But now it seems like he has to cut it open and take it out, see what's going on. He said later on it'll be fine, but a bit more healing. Starting in August, they're going to be able to, they just basically centered my jaw to my teeth to this and that. So I can get the whole tops done in the next couple months after summer vacation in August. I got an appointment August 16th. So just wanted to keep you guys updated with that. I know, sucks. But yeah, today is my final day. I start my 15th year, I guess, 14 years, 15 years in the business. Hey, Rickster, how are you? So yeah, I just wanted to say cheers. Thank you to the community for being with me, live streaming, having to go to work all the time. I've had some ups and downs, as a lot of my Patreon members know, since about October of last year. So, hey, buckle up and let's go. How are you? So for the community out there, sticking with me, hanging out with me, I truly appreciate it. So this is for you. Cheers, guys. And I'm still drinking this Crown Royal salted caramel. So yeah, I'm going to talk pretty much about Eikaiwa work, which is basically private companies. I am not an ALT, which is an assistant language teacher, where you might get hired by Interact and shipped out to schools, junior high schools, elementary schools, things like that. Working in classrooms of 30, 40 people, things like that, right? Thank you, Night Riders gal. I appreciate that. That is quite an accomplishment. Kudos to you, brother. Thank you. So first off, a little bit of history about me is this is actually the longest job I have ever held in my life. So, I was I went to culinary school, and I was sous chef for about 4.5, 5 years after school. I then went into the casino business for 13 and a half years, from 88 until 2001. Hey, Believe in Yourself, good morning. Thank you for being here. I then was into wine making, beer making, because I wanted to open up a pub. And I did open up a pub, and then I got rid of the pub in 2004. And then for a little while, I worked for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in retail, merchandising, and things like that. And I came to Japan in 2005, and that's where my life and, well, the second half, I guess, and honestly, when I came to Japan, I didn't want to work. I wanted to use all the money that I had saved through my business adventures and things like that. I didn't plan on actually working. Well, friends, my wife at the time, oh, thank you, Mindy's mom. Guys, it's okay. Thank you. I'm glad that you're proud of me, because I'm proud of myself. And I'm going to get into some, I was going to say detrimental or some derogatory. No, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. Some things that people kind of think about, but I'll get into that in a minute. Hey, Lynn, good morning. Thank you for joining. So yeah, I started off, and my first wife, Kai Kun's mom, she was already working for the company. Hey, Melanie, how are you? And hopefully you guys find this all interesting. I really do. I really hope you do find it interesting. But she was already working for my company, and I guess they heard that, her husband was coming, and being a foreigner, hey, maybe he might want to teach. So I guess basically I got suckered into it, right? The longest years I worked with an establishment, almost 9 years. Oh, cool. So here, I kind of did some questions here. Let me find the first question here. And that was how to get an actual teaching job here in Japan. So I'm just going to be talking about my experiences, okay? There are a lot of people that can apply from overseas. You can go to, like, one of the most popular websites is probably Gaijinpot, where a lot of companies, whether it's Eikaiwa companies, Eikaiwa, or dispatch companies, things like that, they'll put ads, and a lot of people do apply. Now, before we get any further, there are people out there that will put down teaching jobs in Japan. We all know who they are, but I got to say one thing. It can be rewarding. So just to let you guys know that you can experience Japan while teaching. You can watch young Japanese kids evolve and become global citizens. Thank you to Connor. You must be watching. Or maybe you're not. You just sent me an email. But is it a lifelong career? And that's something I'm going to talk about in a bit. But first off, it's how to get a teaching job. You can answer ads. Now, there are certain qualifications. If you live, teaching is a noble profession. Well, honestly, buckle up and go. A lot of people, hey, Ramsey Silent, a lot of people think that teaching in Japan is not a noble profession, right? It's, go and do it for a year, something along those lines. And I might get off track, everybody. Hello, hello, Irvin. And I agree, Irvin. It is fun. Can it be a lifelong career? Yeah, it can. Can it be menial? Yeah, it can. Can it be boring? Yeah, it can. But, ladies and gentlemen, there are different ways to get jobs. Now, real quickly, you can apply from overseas. Depending on the company, maybe you can interview in your home country before you come to Japan. And if we're talking about overseas, there are some loopholes that you do have to go through. Number one, you have to have a university degree. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't have a university degree. How can I teach in Japan? Well, you can. I'll get into that later. But the university degree, and it doesn't have to be in teaching, it just has to be a university degree, is for the visa requirements itself. Now, of course, if you do have a teaching degree, the pay sucks. Here we go. Hello, Irvin. Don't get me off track. First off, you got to get a certificate of eligibility. Then you got to prove and show your diploma, blah, 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 blah. Then you get an interview. Or you get an interview, then you get all the paperwork. But we'll fast track all that. Basically, in the interview, and it all depends on the different companies and stuff, but they might ask you to do like a short demo, like to see what kind of, can you teach? Do you have those teaching techniques of being able to, show, hey, Bobby, good morning. Kamoa, good morning. Your experiences. Now, for me personally, I had no experience, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Desert Fox, how are you? I have your second interview in 2 weeks for a teaching job. Awesome. There are a lot of people that do want to come to Japan and teach. And it doesn't matter how old you are, by the way, either. Okay? So if you are overseas, you have to get a certificate of eligibility. You have to get that, apply for that work visa, specialties in humanitarian or, however. I have never gone through any of that because I came to Japan and I had a spouse visa. So pretty much I could do whatever I want. No voting, don't get into that, right? But I don't have a university degree. I have a high school diploma and a culinary, we call it a red seal, journeyman papers. I don't know if they call it that nowadays anymore, but I guess I don't have a university degree. But because I have a spouse visa, I can work. So that was kind of like, I don't know if it's a loophole or whatever you want to call it, but I went for an interview. ESL certificates, TEFL, all those things do help you to secure the job. I don't have any of those things. The only thing I think that is good for me is I had management experience in the casino business, running my own bar, working for the Hamilton Tiger Cats for the Canadian Football League. I was the merchandising and managing director. Basically, I sold clothes for a professional sports company. So I think I've already told you that before. But yeah, so you get the interview. You get over to Japan, and then you go for training for that company. For me personally, I went for an interview, and this will all be my experiences, ladies and gentlemen. Take it for what it is. I went for an interview. I met a gentleman, and he interviewed me for about an hour. At that time, I didn't have to do a demo. But before that, I actually did apply for a couple of jobs. I remember I applied for a place called, I think, Rainbow Kids or something like that. And I failed miserably. Hey, Abe, how are you? Good morning. So they asked us to do a song and a bit of a demo. I aced that because I learned from my friends who were working for the same company that I work for. They don't work for me anymore, but anyways. But then they give you a written test. And I think there was like 10 people in the room. And the first line says, please read through thoroughly to make sure you understand, so on and so forth. I read that, went to the first question, answered it. And it was one of those trick things, right? I went and answered all the questions. And the last question is, if you have answered any of the questions before this, please walk out. Please hand your paper in. because I didn't read the whole thing. I think only 3 people actually read the whole thing before starting to answer it. So I failed miserably, but for my current job, basically I got an interview, and I went for training for 2 weeks. Yeah, I passed that, right, Kamoa? I went for training for 2 weeks, and it was intense for my company. Absolutely intense. You're training with anywhere from 5 to 12 people. And that was back in July of 2007. So today marks 14 completed years, even though I'm saying 15 years. But yeah, basically I'm going into my 15th year anyways. So 2 weeks of training, every day up at 7 o'clock in the morning, into the training area, whether it's at a classroom or a training center, things like that. Yeah, basically you're learning how to deal with customers. Now, this is Eikaiwa work, not ALT work. It's completely different. If you are in junior high schools, elementary schools, you're basically in a classroom with 35 kids, right? Whereas, hey, DeConnor, how are you? On your comments, and friend and I are proud of you. Hello, crew. Thank you. I appreciate that. Eikaiwa work for my company, we are in a classroom by ourselves. So there's a little bit more things that we have to do, where you have to learn about, quick first aid and safety. And you do learn on the job itself, but for 2 weeks, every day, you have 1 day off in those 14 days, and you learn teaching techniques, how to deal with problem students, how to deal with problem customers, how to teach different levels, using different teaching styles, teaching techniques, all kinds of different things. So if any of you have been out there that have actually taught, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That happened to me in high school. My teacher wanted to teach used to read directions, was a time test. I passed with flying colors because I'm so OCD. I always try to follow the rules, right? Jason M., how are you, brother? Thanks for being here. I'd rather stick to your job too, Irvin. So after about 2 weeks, you've learned a lot, through my company. And there's a written test, which I think I did like 90%. So not bad. Basically, I moved back to Saitama because that was going to be the area I taught. Now, so that's pretty much how you get a teaching job. Basically, you apply, you go for interviews, then you got to go through all those loopholes, getting a certificate of eligibility, getting your visa all worked out, so on and so forth. If you are living in Japan, if you have a spouse visa, or if you are a permanent resident because you haven't been teaching at all, maybe you're into IT work here, things like that, you have no problem getting a job. You don't need a teaching degree, for the most part, to get a job in Japan, or teaching job in Japan. Because a lot of companies will put you into a training program for, maybe 3 days up to 2 weeks. It depends on the company. And you're going to learn everything about how they teach, how they want you to teach, so on and so forth. So for those reasons, I was kind of happy that I didn't have to really teach. Really know anything about teaching, because I learned right away that company. And that's the only way that I know how to work, is through all the expectations that my company has given me, rules, regulations, so on and so forth. That's the only thing. So if I was to ever in the future change jobs, I'd be like a deer in headlights. I wouldn't know. I'd have the experience, but I would have to adapt and evolve into that company's way. But I also, hey, Tokyo Paul, good morning. I think I could use that experience to probably secure another job. I've always wanted to work for like an international preschool, but I'm kind of old. So would I be able to dance and sing and have fun with, 3, 4, 5-year-olds? Might be a little bit difficult for this guy anyways, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how to get a job in Japan. Now, ALT or Eikaiwa work, it all depends on what you want to do. And it doesn't really matter how old you really are, to be honest. I shut that one off here. Hold on, I'm doing it in order here. Hold on. There's question number 1. There's question number 2. Okay, good. ALT work. You are going to be hired by a dispatch company, most likely, Interact or whoever. And you might teach 2, 3 different high schools. Maybe you'll teach the same high school all the time. It all depends on what, their needs are. I do not have any experience in ALT work. I have, though, taught in a high school, a private high school, junior high school, doing a program for my company many, many years ago. And it was kind of fun, I think I was teaching like junior high school grade 3. So the kids were quite interested in what I had, right? So my comfort zone has been like, yeah, exactly, right? But for me, I think Eikaiwa work is much better. You have freedom for a lot of scheduling. And I'll get into the pros of Eikaiwa work, and that's what I'll be talking about coming up next. And if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know. I will try and answer any question that you have. If you have kids or cousins or anybody that you think are interested in coming to teach in Japan, hopefully the information I give here will be decent enough. Okay. Pros. Hey, Jackie Hiro, how are you? Mindy's mom, Night Riders gal, and Irvin, thank you very much for the support. Not that I'm going to get drunk, but for the super chatters, cheers. Oh, I need coffee chaser though. Hey, oh my God, Reed! Crapple Chris! How are you? Thank you for your recent emails. I'm glad that you're here. Wow. Sean Fan, good morning, and thank you for being here. Jason Pointer, good morning. All right, pros. So pros of working for an Eikaiwa. I can never say Eikaiwa. Leo Eats, holy shit, long time. How are you? It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a long time, dude. Thank you for being here. All right, this is obviously just from my experience, pros and cons. I'm going to start off with the pros. Pros. Okay, we're finished. Pros of being a teacher. Well, most likely, Eikaiwas are usually after school, after junior high school, after elementary school English programs, okay? They are more like a club than an actual school. Eikaiwas are more into customer service, teaching English. Does that make sense to you guys? So parents sign up, we have sales teams, so on and so forth going out, and you get your customers. Now, they'll be put into different levels, so on and so forth. Now, for my company, everybody knows my company, but I still won't say the name. We typically start anywhere around 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we could work up until 10 o'clock. So one of the pros, maybe, for fellow teachers and a beer. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimashita. Once we get to another 50, I'll have another shot. No. Is the fact that you have your mornings free. Now, it might sound okay, but let's face it, guys. If you are an English teacher in Japan and you're not working 8 to 4, 8 to 5 as an ALT, or 8 to 4, 8 to 5, or whatever it is, as an international preschool or a preschool at a hoikuin, things like that, you're probably going to work 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. on average. Now, you get home, say, 11 o'clock. Well, are you going to go to bed right away? No, right? You might stay up till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You're probably not going to get out of bed until 11 or 12 in the afternoon or late morning, things like that. But, if you do want to do certain things in the morning, you have your mornings free. Scheduling wise, you could work anywhere from Monday to Saturday. Typically with my company, we're off on Sundays at least. But also the schedule, it also depends on what school. Now with my company, typically we work 3 to 4 different schools in the month. And you will work at one school for that week. So that's a good pro. You're not going to a different location every day. You're going to 3 or 4 different locations during the month, but at least during that week, you're going to the same school. So that's pro number 1. Pro number 2 is scheduling wise. It also could depend. Did I see somebody? I saw something about, hey, like the J vlog, but I'm not sure what he was talking about. You could actually only teach anywhere from 1 to 5 lessons a day. So I always say this to my teachers. Back home, if you were working a regular job, you would be working 8 hours plus lunch, or 7.5 hours plus lunch, things like that. But here in the Eikaiwa business, typically, you're probably on average working 3 to 4 lessons a day, which each lesson is 1 hour. Now, of course, you have to show up before your lessons start to prepare. So let's say 4 lesson day. That's 4 hours. Now there's 15 minutes in between these lessons here. So that's another 45 minutes. And say you show up half an hour before. So typically you're working 5.5 hours that day for 4 lesson day. Not bad. You could work 1 lesson and still be paid the same. Now, a lot of places pay by salary. Right now, the average per month is about $2,400 a month. After a year, maybe you might go up to 25. After a few years, you might go up to 26. Some places out there pay $3,000 a month. Some places pay as low as $2,000 a month. So there's pretty much from $2,000 to $3,000. I've heard most expensive international preschool could be $3,300 a month. It all depends, and it also depends on your hours. That's for ALT. At Eikaiwa, I had 5 to 7 lessons a day. Well, you work for the wrong Eikaiwa, Tokyo Paul. Ah! Now, I know for my company, I could have 5 days during the week, and it could be 4 lessons a day. It all depends on the school itself. But I think reasonably, teaching 4 lessons a day, and it could be all varying levels. You could be teaching 5-year-olds to 7 or 8-year-olds, and the next class, 11 or 12-year-olds, even 16, 17-year-olds. It all depends. It all depends on how old you are to what time you show up also. So typically the younger kids are going to be at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. The older kids will start showing up 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, up until 9:45. Mindy's mom says, do kids go to school until late at night? Yes, they do. But not like junior high school. High school, they'll probably finish around 3. Maybe they might have a club activity after that. But if they do go to Juku, which is different, or if they are enrolled in English school, they could be going to school up until 9:45, 10 o'clock at night. If you're, 15, 16, 17 years old. So hopefully that answers your question. If you do have a question, just put @TotallyDrew and then your question, and I'll see it because it'll highlight in orange for me, and I will see it and keep going. So pros, scheduling is quite easy. Now, I am the manager of my area, so I do make the teachers' schedules, and of course, I do take into account days off that they need or request. Some people like Saturday, Sundays off. Some people do like Sunday, Mondays off. Some people like a Sunday and a Wednesday off to break up their week. So another pro, if you do work with your manager, if your manager is nice, I do try to help my teachers with scheduling, paid vacations, things like that. I saw someone giving you a hug. Oh, hello, Luis. Of course, pros. You are working with kids. So if you like working with kids and you like the challenges of working with kids that predominantly do not understand English, you got to use a lot of gestures and you got to, I guess, ad-lib what you guys would say, things like that. It is self-satisfying to watch kids evolve. Now, I'm going to go off track here for a minute, but another pro is developing relationships with your students and parents. Okay? Hey, Jay Conklin, 69, good morning to you. So when I first started for this company, I was a teacher. I was a teacher for about the first 8 or 9 months, and I've been a manager ever since. But as I was teaching, I got to know the students, and I got to know the parents. And, this is where the customer service aspect comes in. Whether you're having a grumpy day or a bad day, as soon as that door opens, forget all your personal life. Be great at customer service. Be happy, because the students are not coming in to see you be a grumpy teacher. And if you are, hey Jeremy, good morning. If you are a good person, you will understand that you need to have a lot of patience. I think NT Lana just said that. You need to have a lot of commitment. You need to be able to have a lot of empathy towards your students, so on and so forth. So I was a teacher, and when I left the schools that I was at, they made some amazing cards and presents and things like that. It was totally amazing, guys. It really was. Carlita says, is there a Japanese teacher's assistant to help you out? No, that is more ALT work. Eikaiwa work, it depends on the company, but you might have a Japanese teacher helping you out once in a while. In my company, we have sometimes for like the really small 3-4-year-olds, sometimes they will help us out. But predominantly, you are working by yourself. Customer service is key in any occupation, but especially teaching. Yes, Night Riders Gal, I do agree. So then I became a manager, and that's a whole different story. But again, like developing relationships is amazing. I remember even as a manager, I decided to take over one school, and as a manager, I would be in the office and do all these things, but I would go and teach this one school, and we would have like lessons, and the kids would stay for 2 hours. They would do their English lesson, and then they would do a grammar lesson. And in between those lessons, I was in a small town up in Saitama, and hey, Leonie, the parents would bring bento boxes for their kids to have dinner, because it was like 7:15. 7:30 at night. They haven't eaten dinner because they're, in English school, and they'd actually bring me food. It was amazing. They're like, "Oh, you're such a good teacher. Here, we want to, I got festival like matsuri, corn on the cob, okonomiyaki, some bento boxes with rice and karage. Totally amazing, guys. It was amazing. So, there's a lot of pros. If you want to, and let's face it, I'm gonna get the elephant out of the room right now. And that is, a lot of people in this business will come over and teach for a year and leave. They want to get some teaching experience, but they also want to experience Japan. So that is where, as a manager, sometimes I struggle. Not to fried chicken, no. That's where I kind of struggle sometimes, trying to tell people or help people understand that you're here for a job. So please put 1,000% of your effort into this job and care. Because after you leave, we're going to have another teacher come in, and they're still going to be getting that foreigner teacher experience. So it's not just like I'm going to go to Japan. It's going to be vacation. I'm going to travel around Japan on my days off. I'll just show up and work. No. Teaching here is actually a job, and it can help you in the future. Maybe you want to teach in Japan as a 20-something-year-old because you got a teaching degree back home. You get some experience here, and then you apply to be a sub-teacher back in America or Canada or wherever, hoping to get onto the Board of Education, so on and so forth. So it does help a bit, right? Other pros, you get to meet other teachers from different parts of the world. Right now we have, in my experience, I've dealt with people from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, from the Philippines, Australia, England, America, Canada, Hong Kong, Singapore, Sierra Leone, Brazil, Peru, so many different cultures. And at the end of this, I'm going to talk about what it's like to be a manager for my company in a way. So there are a lot of pros, honestly. I think I had a Malaysian once in a while. Hey, Laurie, how are you? Thank you for being here. I'm just going to be all over the board, ladies and gentlemen, because hey, Polka, good morning. It's afternoon now. Sorry. I wish more people had your work ethic. What are you saying is a blueprint to success and not just in teaching? Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you. I take this job seriously. Now, there are a lot of, honestly, guys, I'm going to say something real quickly before I get into cons, but there are a lot of haters out there, especially those Reddit idiots. Hey, Wanamaker, how are you? Thanks for being here. They always put teaching in Japan down. You're not going to go anywhere. Most likely you're not. That's the realization. Unless you become a manager like I am, but I'm probably at the top of where I'm going to go. But I'm happy because I get to work with teachers. I get to work with students. I get to work with the Japanese department of my company. And I like to fix things. I like to try and make things as best as I can. But that's another story here nor there. But honestly, guys, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 65 years old, don't expect to come to Japan and teach English. No. But I think for me, the younger the people are, and there's pros and cons to that too. The younger, like if you're 21 to say 26-year-old coming to Japan for the first time, we can teach them our way because they're going to work for us anyways. So it might be their first time teaching. They're going to learn my company way. I think that's good. And if they do move on to a different company, then they'll take that experience and evolve into that company's way, so on and so forth. I guess I won't be going there to teach. No. Do you actually interview applicants, brother? I have in the past, not much though. I know you can sense who is committed to the teaching profession and the ones that are just there to collect a paycheck. Pretty much, yeah. And I'll talk about the management of kind of what I do without giving away too many secrets and stuff like that. Because my bosses probably watch this video because they all know that I do YouTube and stuff. So I got to be careful without giving out too much stuff. But I think it's okay. So yeah, pros. Again, scheduling works well. You get to work with kids. If you enjoy working with kids, then teaching might be for you. The pay, that's going to be into the con. But if you get with the right company, $2,800 a month for working on average 5.5 hours a day, that's pretty damn good. If you actually take, well, here, you know what? Does your pay increases with a college degree? No, it does not, Luis. The college degree, university degree, is basically for your visa. But also, there are companies out there that do give you a bit of a higher rate if you have certain certifications. Who do you teach? I don't personally teach Word 789, but I do teach, our teachers do teach children up until about 17 years old or so. So just, I get a calculator out. Say you start, on average, a teacher will teach, say, 30 hours a week, 29.5 hours. That is key. Okay? 2,400 divided by 30 hours a week, so that would be, what's that, 120 hours a month? No, wait. Yeah, just say, right? 130 hours, I can't even do math right now. Divided by 120 hours. Oh my God. 24 divided by, oh my God. Thank God I'm a manager. So if you're working 30 hours a week, which you don't do, that's $20 an hour. Okay? On average, though, for the time without traveling, the time actually spent working, you're probably doing anywhere from $30 to $40 an hour. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you might have one lesson a day. Because we pay for salary, we pay by the day. A one lesson day, yee-haw! Maybe you're doing one lesson at 7:30 at night. You have your whole day available. Right? Saturdays might be a bit busier, 4 or 5 lessons a day, or you might have it off. So it all depends. But yeah, I think Ramsey Silent, I just saw a comment there, Ramsey Silent, on average about $30 an hour per time worked. Yes. So that's a bit of a pro because you do have time for yourself. Now, I'm going to get into cons. And I hope I don't get in trouble by saying this, but there are, of course, cons to any job. Now, of course, one lesson day is Auntie Leanna. We would be, obviously it's always in the afternoon, but cons. There are a few cons that I got to be careful with, but travel. Traveling to 4 different schools or 3 different schools or whatever you're going to do during the month can get a bit tedious because you might be traveling up to an hour and 15 minutes one way to that school. You might be traveling 10 minutes only. You might be able to walk to that school. So for me, in the area that I manage, we put teachers living in certain areas and then they teach the schools around that area. So it's not that bad, but traveling is something that, one thing I've heard where teachers don't like. They would rather go to the same school every day. That's their choice. Hey, words at 789. If you type in @TotallyDrew, I'll see your questions a bit better, okay? Do you teach students who want to learn English or is it mandatory curriculum there? It's a curriculum in the junior high schools and that, yes. But we teach students that want to learn, that join our English program because they want to learn English. So it's a bit different. I'd take an hour to travel to work. Honestly, guys, door to door, it takes me an hour to get to my office. So I have no problem traveling. But some people, travel a bit more. And which, it is what it is. Just checking my line messages here. But cons, the pay. The pay sucks at times. Now, of course, Drew, Kamoa, do it at Totally Drew. First thing to learn, English sometimes makes no sense. Don't worry, that's normal. I feel spoiled with less than 10-minute walk to work in the U.S. Yeah, it all depends, right? So traveling can get a bit tedious. It depends on, hey, Miguel, good morning. It depends on, honestly, where you work, where you're located. I think it's the biggest complaint is traveling. If they have to travel over half an hour, you go by local transportation, like a train or a bus or something. It's not too bad. But I do understand, like, if you could walk to a high school and teach there, hey, why not, right? The pay, being on salary, it kind of sucks. Now, typically, I think the average right now is about $2,400, 24,000 or 240,000 yen, whatever that is, American or Canadian, you can do that. It's not the greatest pay. It's almost basically minimum wage in a way. But per your pay to the actual hours worked, it's not that bad. $30 an hour. So it's not that bad, honestly. But again, people will complain. People will be like, meh, whatever it is, right? Another con is as a teacher, it all depends on the company. You might not have pension benefits or company benefits, things like that, because you're basically contract work, 1 year at a time. There are companies out there, international preschools to dispatch companies to private schools and things like that, that will offer you company benefits, health and pension, retirement plans, so on and so forth. But if you are basically a contract worker, which I'd say probably 75% of the people in Japan are, you have to pay your own health insurance, NHI insurance, and you have to pay your own pension. So that can kind of suck in a way. The job security is probably not there, kind of what you want, right? It's not union. It's nothing like that. Now, personally for me, I am in a different thing. I do have company pension. I have national pension and my health care all paid for. So because of my position and okay. Only have to pay NHI and retirement after first year. Not sure what you mean, Jason. Please reiterate that. Paying own pension, $2,400 becomes more like $2,000 US per month. Yes, Paul, it does. Of course it does. That's the system here. NHI, $240 a month. That covers, your taxes are not known due after a year of work. I'm still lost, Jason. Now, see, I'm totally blown. I gotta stop reading comments. Oh my God. You, as a contract worker, you will pay your own health insurance and your pension through City Hall of where you live. Okay, so let's take roughly $2,500 a month. After taxes, you might get what, $2,150, $2,200. Okay, then you have to pay your pension and your NHI or your health insurance. Okay, so that would probably leave you around $1,800 to $2,000 a month. Then you got to pay your rent and all your electrical utility bills, so on and so forth. So Do you get write-offs as a contractor? No, you do not. After living costs more like $1,500. That's wrong, Paul. I think, well, maybe in your opinion, but generally, some teachers actually have company housing. So after taxes, after they pay their NHI, after they pay their rent, yeah, I could see $1,200 a month expendable, or whatever that you have to use. But it all depends on how much you're making too, right? But on average, $2,500 a month, it's not the greatest pay. Con, working alone. If you are worried about working with companies that you work alone with no support, you might not want to work for an Eikaiwa. Trevor says, Drew, that sucks as an IET contractor. You're considered a business, but that needs to do tax returns to Canada. Exactly. But it's different here in Japan, right? I make more than that in retirement. I bet you do, Watermaker. Con is saving money. For most teachers here in Japan, you're not going to save much money. Especially if you want to travel around. Like, say you live in Saitama. Saitama. It might cost you, depending on where you live, $10 one way to get into Tokyo. $8. So you're spending, say you want to go visit Tokyo, you're spending 800 to 1,600 yen, $8 to $15 just traveling. Say you do that 3 times a week, it can add up. There's $50, right? So if you don't live in Tokyo, so trying to travel around, save money can be a bit of a bad thing. Jeremy, based on the pay, a Japanese teacher makes about what a third shift stalker at Walmart does. Probably, yeah. I probably put it there. It's not a career job. But for certain companies, you do get pay increases. Now, I have a friend who lives up in Tochigi. He has been teaching for 18 years. He's married with kids. His wife works. So his wife probably makes 1.5 times to 2 times more than he does. She's in the medical field. So basically, his money helps the household. It gives him something to do. He loves being with children. So if you're not really worried about money, teaching might be for you, right? Drew, from Mindy's mom. Have you heard about that giant floating balloon head? Yes. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but Mindy's mom, it was a hot air balloon. It was in the shape of a gray head. It was only yesterday. It's down, and it might pop up somewhere else in Japan later on. So there we go. Does the companies help with any travel expenses? Thank you, Leonie. Actually, that is a pro. All your travel-related costs for work are paid back to you. I know in Canada, no worries, Mindy's mom. I know in Canada, I would probably, this is 25 years ago, whatever, but I would drive my car to work. My company never paid my gas, right? Here in Japan, it is widely known that you will pay for your transportation throughout the month, and they will reimburse you on your next paycheck. Pretty good, eh? I average probably $200 to $300 a month traveling, and they just pay me back. It's that easy. It really is that easy. I think that is a great pro to working any job in Japan. It really is. As a supplemental income, it is fine. I was a teacher's assistant while my kids were in elementary school. I didn't have to pay for childcare and was able to be a stay-at-home mom. That's awesome, Night Riders gal. Do you eat lunch with the kids? No, we're not like we all know, Critical Eats Japan is more like an ALT. He works in elementary school, I believe. He actually eats lunch with the kids. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we work starting from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m. We are basically like an after-school club. Most Eikaiwas are like that. The kids go to school, elementary school, junior high school, whatever it is during the day, and then they go into the English lessons after work. So we don't do lunch or anything like that. That is more ALT work, where you show up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you leave at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And you eat lunch with the kids, things like that. No, we are not like that. Eikaiwa work is basically teaching 1 hour lessons with a 15-minute in-between break. And it's not even a break. What did Crapple Chris say here? Any work helps to get your 5 years in country needed for this holy grail permanent resident visa. Exactly. Another pro is the ability to live in Japan and enjoy life in Japan. I think that is underrated. I don't know, Paul. How's it working for you? Honestly, guys, I guess one of the cons for working for this is it a lifelong job. For me, it probably is. I'll probably retire from this company when my age of retirement comes up. It wasn't something that I chose to do, though. I chose to work, but I didn't want it to be my lifelong career. My lifelong career was going to be a chef and or casino and or open up my own bar and or I've already done those things. So I have changed every once in a while. So yeah, I guess there's going to be pros and cons to everything. But I think there are more pros for teaching in Japan than there are cons. Now, of course, we're going to have the haters out there. And those haters are just secret people that have already taught in Japan. And they just want to bring it down. Those people that like to do that don't care. And I know they're going to be all over this video. But that's okay. Now, I'm going to get rid of all these questions here. I'm just going to keep it as real as possible because I had this overall experience, and I'll just talk kind of. I'm trying to get rid of all these little questions here. There we go. Basically, guys, most people are going to be younger because they want to experience Japan. If you're 35 and up, you still have a chance if you want. If you want to come experience Japan and you have some experience somehow, maybe it's all good. I got a teaching job when I was, 37 years old? So it is possible. They don't discriminate against age. They might just say, oh, you're not what we're looking for. But let's face it, the younger people are easier to mold into whatever teaching style that you have for your company, whether it's ALT work, Eikaiwa work, private one-on-one. It all just depends, right? But I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, as they pour out a shot, 35 is the max. I was 30 when I came over, depending on need. I've seen people 40 years old be hired, Paul, so I think your job suits you, brother. You make a good point. You've accomplished many of your life goals already. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. And that's pretty much, what it is, right? With your experience, can you move into a different position in your company? I think, good question, Luis. For me, for my company, I kind of have to wait for my boss to kick the bucket before I can move up. And then there's probably people more qualified to move into that position than me. I'm happy where I am. Now, Kampai Drew, Sean, guys, cheers. 14 years, baby. Oh, yeah. This is what I'm drinking. This was from Nilsa. I still haven't finished this off. I figured I'd finish this off today with you guys. I am a manager for my company. I deal with teachers. I help train teachers to be the best that they can be, to evolve. Thanks, Wanamaker. Thanks, Babs. Welcome. But I don't really teach. But I will go out and we call it team teaching with my teachers. I'll go watch their lessons. Maybe I'll teach a lesson to show them certain techniques to help them be better as a teacher. Just things like that, right? It's rewarding. I don't care, all the haters, all the positive people out there, you have your opinions. But honestly, what I do is very rewarding. I get to deal with people that have come to Japan for the first time from different countries. So there's going to be a bit of culture shock, and I have to help them get used to Japan. I have to help them get used to the company. I have to help them really understand what it's like to be a teacher. The first thing I say to people when I meet them is teaching for you. Do you like children? I haven't even told my story yet. I'm going to tell you in a sec, because this is one thing that I am so proud of. And yeah. Of course, when you go through the training program in any company, you go into your area, you start in your schools, you're going to be nervous. But you will get used to it. The people that come to teach in Japan are here because they want to teach in Japan, or they want to enjoy the experience of teaching in Japan. Opinions are like, exactly, Kumoa. Now, here is an amazing story of my experiences. When I first started in my company back in 2007, I was assigned to some schools. And I developed some very good relationships with some students and parents at a school. Jackie Hiro, think your job is very important as they need help getting used to Japan and the culture. Absolutely, Jackie, they do. I remember a group of girls, okay? They were like 5, 6 years old. And I only taught them for about a year. And these girls actually stayed in the school, English school, up for 12 years. They're graduated now, so on and so forth. I used to go back and visit the school as a manager to see my teachers, and they would always remember me. Drew Sensei, or Andrew Sensei. And the parents, during, we're letting them out after the English lesson, and the parents see me like, oh my God, Andrew, how are you? They generally were happy to see me. So, like I said, as a manager, I was teaching some classes regularly every month for a while. And I learned, these girls were like 15, 16 years old, and they graduated, so on and so forth. Went to university. I wonder what kind of textbooks Drew uses at school. Cannot tell you that, Tokyo Paul. There are things I probably need to enroll as a student. Read. Maurice, how are you? To some, it's a stepping stone to just enter and live with no experience of Japanese ability. Yeah, it is, Maurice. Absolutely. You are right there. So, last time I saw these students was maybe, I don't know, when they're 15, 16 years old. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got a message a few months ago that they were having a reunion kind of style thing. Now, these girls are 20, 21 years old. One is like a just finished graduating medical school and was a pharmacist's assistant. One was into radiology. One was into this. One was still in school and things like that. And they remembered me enough that they contacted me and invited me out for the day for lunch and so on and so forth. It was amazing. I saw these girls from the time they were 5 years old. There's 4 of them. And now they're 20, 21, 22 years old, working, boyfriends. One was planning to get married already. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Amazing. You watch these kids grow up. You watch how their English ability got better and better. And I had a part of that. That is what is so satisfying about the teaching in Japan. I had another student in Kanagawa. Now, she was, I think, 15 or 16 years at the time, back in 2010 or something like that, 9 or something. I'm still friends with her on like Instagram. I guess that would put her at what, 25, 26 years old now? She's married with 3 kids. It's amazing how you see all these people grow up. So being a teacher, and I'm sure Night Riders Gal can contest, if you are seeing kids all the time on a daily basis, it touches your heart, man. And it might be a meaningless job to some. It might be an endless job to some. But if you take it for what it's worth and you apply 100% to being the best that you can be for those kids, it's awesome. It really is. Drew, that's a special ingredient, a genuine heart and love and appreciation, I think he's saying, of the culture. That is a gift that keeps going on. Yeah, absolutely, right? You left an amazing impression on. Thank you, Mindy's mom. I did. That is so awesome, Drew. The investment was better than Bitcoin. I'd rather have the Bitcoin. Jeremy, that shows the impression you made on them as a teacher. I still talk with some of my teachers more than 20 years after graduation, right? We've all been there, I think, right? Babs, I have students from years ago that now have their own children and successful careers, right? Mindy's mom, thank you for your hard work in that field. For somebody one, I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Hey, Robert Schrader, good morning, by the way, or good afternoon. Did you hold classes at the hub? You just really have to kill it, dude. Think being a teacher is the most important job. It is an important job, but I don't think a lot of people like that are teaching in Japan take it seriously enough. Really, they don't. Most Westerners become teachers because it's the only job they can get to stay in Japan. That is true, but also not true, Maurice. I know a lot of people, a lot of the people that work in IT here in Japan actually put teaching jobs here in Japan down. So it's those kind of people. But you are right. Most foreigners coming to Japan are coming here to teach because that's pretty much the only job that they can because of the language difficulty. That's why. Hey, we got 51 likes too. That's pretty awesome. Man, I better start reminiscing on more stories, get more likes here. But brown nosing, William Maker and I both did the thumbs up. That's awesome, Wanamaker. I appreciate it, bro. Honestly, guys, overall, okay? Hey, Gretchen. Oh, my God, Gretchen! How are you, dear? Listen, guys. I never tell you what company I work for. Everybody knows. Even my company knows the problems I've gone through with the Reddit trolls and all that. And you know what? I'll say it straight out right now. Don't care what you think. I enjoy what I do. You can have your opinion. But overall, I am a manager. I look after teachers. I evaluate. I train. I do office work. I travel around the Kanto area on a daily basis. I really, really do. Thank you, Crapple Chris. Well, I'll just say Reed. Thank you. Are you both watching, by the way? Hello. I forget the wife's name. Shit. Crapplequist, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Shot time. Is Amy's place here? Oh, hi. How are you? Hi, Drew. Congrats on 15 years. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. You eat fantastic pastrami sandwiches. Where the hell did that come from? God, that pastrami sandwich was good. Overall, guys, listen. Okay? I get to touch... No, that's not the right word. I started working at Nova back in 2004. There were pros and cons. Absolutely, right? But the biggest pro was I met my wife and now have two great little boys. That's awesome. That's a great story, too. Yes, me and Carmen. Oh, Carmen! Oh, my God, Reed. I can't believe I didn't say Carmen. Oh! Hi, Carmen. Oh. Honestly, guys, I enjoy what I do. I get to touch. I gotta stop saying touch. She's not mad? Okay. Sorry. I get to affect people's lives here in Japan. Now, I might not be the greatest boss out there. I do have my ups and downs. I have my faults. And that's why I learn. My bosses help me be a better manager and a better leader. It's not all about being a manager. You have to be able to lead to be successful with your teachers. Everybody's going to complain. Plain and simple. You're going to have pros and cons. But if you think about the customer and why you are here, and what you can do to impact those children's lives, to be able to think globally, you're doing a good thing. When I first started working in Japan, a lot of kids, we'll ask, what's the annual teacher turnover? It's huge. I don't know the exact number there, Robert, but teachers are always coming and going, coming and going. Carmen Monter, good morning, by the way. How are you? Why do you think LTs leave after a few years? I have no idea. I can't speak for teachers. I managed teams for over 20 years, and you are 100% correct. Thank you, Bud Kalapa. Let's go. Thank you. I deal with teachers. I deal with students. I deal with the Japanese side of my company. I enjoy what I do. And I enjoy, hey, Eric, good morning. I enjoy seeing children evolve. I asked a student a question one time. Where in this world do you want to visit? And they said, Japan. Well, I mean, outside of Japan. I don't want to be outside of Japan. That's weird. Well, not weird, but because they weren't thinking, right? But then again, you do get a lot of students when they get older. I want to visit Italy. I want to go eat pizza. I want to go to England to eat fish and chips. That's very popular. I want to go to Australia to play with the kangaroos and see the koalas. I want to go to Canada. Now, Canada, Japanese students think Canada is always cold. We live in igloos and we eat yellow snow. No, I'm joking. Canada, they always think, and they're always surprised. Oh, Canada and America have 4 seasons? They only think that Japan has spring, summer, winter, and fall. It's hilarious. America, Australia, I don't live in igloos. I really don't, Carmen. Honest, I don't. America. Oh, I want to go. How do they? A lot of questions. Oh, I want to go see the Statue of Liberty. They'll use iconic places, right? I want to go to America to see a baseball game, even though they have Japanese baseball. I want to go to Canada to see ice hockey. Popular places in Canada. They never say Toronto. I want to go to Vancouver. Popular places in America are usually either LA or New York. Australia, they want to go everywhere in Australia. I don't know why. Who the hell wants to go to Australia? Joking, Leonie. Drew. So they have the same misconception about Canada that many Americans have. Yeah, pretty much, Jeremy. Absolutely. I'm going to go back to Canada to eat poutine. That's another. Hey, Tuna, good morning. Why aren't Japanese more fluent in Japan? That makes no sense. Victoria, BC. Beautiful city, Reed? Absolutely. So you get a lot of that. So again, opening up Japanese students' minds to think, hey, Nicholas, how are you? Long time. As someone with ties to Michigan, I think of gravy on fries and ketchup chips when it comes to Canada. Yes, baby. I went to Toronto to study English and I really enjoyed it. Awesome, Miguel. Let's face it, guys. I get to see students evolve. I get to help teachers from different parts of the world. And let's face it, and I'll tell you straight up, the biggest mistake I have ever made, hey, Frederick, how are you? The biggest mistake I've ever made is not learning to speak Japanese. I never learned how. Because honestly, I didn't think I needed it. And a lot of people put me down for that. And I speak kindergarten Japanese, if that. It's not too late. It is too late, Wanamaker, actually. I don't think I have the mentality for it anymore. I really don't. And because I speak 99% English every day, I'm too lazy. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just too lazy to take the time to set out an hour or two a day to actually learn. Because my mind is always working for work. And that's a bit of a problem. I finish work at 6:30 each day, say. My working hours could work up until 11 o'clock at night. But say I finish work at 6:30, I come home at 7:30. I might sit at this computer doing work until 10 o'clock at night. I'm a workaholic. I am constantly working because I can't get it out of my head. And if I don't feel like I am organized enough, I don't want things to screw up. So that's kind of my problem. Hi, Nizzy. How are you? Honestly, Drew, you speak kindergarten English? Yeah, I do. I can't put together a sentence for the life of me because I never learned. But am I ashamed of it? Am I embarrassed about it? A little bit. But I'm man enough to admit it. Growing up in Canada, did you have to learn French? I am willing to bet you forgot most of it like I did with Spanish. Yeah, I forgot French completely, Nicholas. Absolutely. But yeah, there are pros and cons to everything. I think the biggest pro for me and the job that I do is I get to help teachers get accustomed to Japan. Not speaking Japanese, okay? Not speaking Japanese, but everything else I'm pretty good at. I get to help teachers affect students' lives. And that is the biggest pro completely. Mindy's mom said something here. I've heard you speak Japanese and you can definitely get around. It's all good. Mindy's mom, shh. I don't speak Japanese. Carmen says, were you raised in Canada? Yes, I was. Between Toronto and Vancouver. Night Riders Gal, my mom used a Neisei living here in the U.S. Her parents made her speak English only. She wouldn't speak Nihongo and said the same thing you're saying. Her Nihongo was an embarrassment to her. I think that's kind of a good way to say it, is I can speak Japanese, ladies and gentlemen. Mindy's mom knows. A few people in my Patreon group know. I can put sentences together, but I always say I can't. Okay? But I cannot speak even like John Dobb or an Eric Surf 6, famous YouTubers, of course. They can speak a lot better than me, of course. I can understand, of course, because that's one of the first levels that happens, right? I do have to speak some Japanese in my office. My secretary is Japanese, and she doesn't really understand English. So, yeah, there is English and Japanese and Japanglish communication and stuff. But I am a little embarrassed that 15 years, and people will harp on my ass. Oh, 15 years in Japan, you never learned Japanese. Oh well. And I always say this, Carmen. I spent 20 years in Vancouver, 18 years in Hamilton, Ontario, 20 years in Vancouver, 3 or 4 more years or so in Hamilton, Ontario, and then to Japan. So, and I can't read kanji. I'll just give up. I pick up Japanese every once in a while, but like with Hiromi, I speak English only. In my job, I pretty much speak English, so shit happens, right? I know, as an example, I have a friend who lives in Vancouver, Canada. He lived in Vancouver for 25 years, and he could hardly speak English. He was Chinese from Hong Kong. He hung around everybody that spoke Cantonese. He hardly could speak, but nobody put him down for that. So why do people do that to me? Japanese is watermarked. I have no idea what you're talking about there. Nick can read kanji. I was saying Japanese is difficult. Muzukashi. I can't read it. Exactly. No big deal. Exactly, Reed, right? Don't lie, Drew. Friend? What are you talking about? So, I learned hiragana. I can read hiragana. That's easy. I made the mistake of not learning katakana or kanji. But I'm pretty good at reading license plates and train stops. I can speak enough to get around. And so can I, Mindy's mom. I choose not to speak Japanese while growing up because of being bullied by my peers. And that's another reason too, right? Next month, I will be 53 years since I was in Japan. Unreal to me. Wow, eh? Nicholas, totally Drew. The book Atomic Habits taught me one thing. Do something on a schedule. Yeah. And that's, honestly, I'll stop you right there. That's my problem, is keeping things to a schedule. I never do. So pick a time to only speak Japanese with Japanese speakers. Seriously, just do it so many times, hours a week. That's where I cannot make the commitment. And that's my problem. This is what Google said the Japanese was. Japanese is underwater marked. Basically it said Japanese is difficult to learn. And you know what? They do say Japanese is difficult to learn. I'm not using that as an excuse, but because, it's like subject, object, verb, and subject, verb, object with the particles and so on and so forth. Japanese is difficult. And, that's why people from Turkey, because their language structure is kind of the same, they have no problem learning, Japanese. But again, getting a strong vocabulary. Like I go to the dentist today, and that's why I spent 2 hours in the dentist today. And I got to speak Japanese to my dentist. And it's still broken Japanese, but we get the messages across. I'm fine. So, but I don't really want to talk about speaking Japanese all the time. Teaching English in Japan. It's a good job. Is it a lifelong career? No, I don't think so. But if you get to be a manager or into human resources or different parts of your company, then yes, it can be a career job. And the higher you go up, depending on the company, the more people that you can help. And the more you help people, it really feels good, guys. So we are living in a different country. It's just like me going, what about filling out medical forms? If I have to fill it out in Japanese, I don't do it. I fill it out in English. Great and informative live stream. Need to go and we'll catch the replay. Bye, Lynn. Thank you. My grandmother and great-grandmother, aunts and uncles spoke broken half Hawaiian style versions. Right, Sean? Do you enjoy teaching English? When I did teach English, I did enjoy tuna. Would you rather be doing something else? For my job right now, I'm fine with everything that I do. Absolutely everything I do, I am fine with. I'm used to the hours. I make my own schedule. Everything is fine. Now, if I was to leave this company or leave Japan or leave teaching English, the only other thing I would do is probably open up my own bar, which still might be a possibility in the next few years. Oh, I thought I felt an earthquake. Sorry. I heard some creeping going on. Wait, so you're not teaching English anymore? I work in the teaching English industry, Tuna. So I'm always teaching, but not on a consistent basis. Does that make sense? I'd like to open a bar when we move back to Japan. Yeah, opening a bar is difficult. I've looked at twice of opening a bar. It's difficult, but Hiromi and I were thinking about it, and you never know. Maybe in the future I will. Or if my cryptocurrency freaking gets better, maybe I can retire. Now, here's another thing. Wherever you live in the world, I don't know if this is any different, but if you live, say, in California, right, and you are a Californian, or whatever the hell you want to call it, an American. Now, there are different cultures in California, or any state, I guess, really, right? But does that mean you have to learn Spanish? I guess there's a big Hispanic population in Southern California, from what I'm led to believe anyways. Does that mean you have to learn Spanish? You know what I mean? Is the difficulty for business the red tape? Yeah, it's a little bit. But also, buckle up. It's also about location. That's always the way it is, right? Location, location, location. What niche can you provide to generate the customers? So, no, but I would like to learn Spanish. 2/3 of the world speaks Spanish. It is helpful, but not necessary. Exactly, Babs. For me, I, at one time, wanted to open up a Coyote Ugly bar in Tokyo. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have a Coyote bar in Roppongi. I do have a video on that. I actually went with a friend of mine, well, an older friend. I forget his name now. Damn. Oh my God. Coyote Ugly. The girls are dancing on the bar and you got the DJ. It's fun time and stuff like that. But I wanted to open that. But then I wanted to open up a Canadian style bar. Making poutine. Serving Canadian whiskeys and, kind of like a shop bar with Canadian food. Or what people think are Canadian food. Besides poutine, what do you think is Canadian food? By the way, guys, cheers. Thank you, Reed, for the super chat. Kebab. No. I want to open a pancake waffle house stop in Japan. Yeah, good luck on that, Leonie. That's a fail right there. Oh, ketchup chips. I'd have to import them. I don't know if I could import Canadian beer. Maple syrup with everything. Walleye and chips. Reed. Walleye or perch style fish and chips would be awesome, eh? No idea. Elk? Yeah. Like a bison burger or an elk burgers would be pretty cool. That was kind of our idea, but Australian themed. you do see a lot more places opening up, like Freeman Shokudo. You know, that guy's an American guy that we went to last week. You know, he's got the pulled pork. He's got that damn pastrami sandwich. I didn't realize a full rack of ribs was $60 and a half was 32. I thought it was 32 and 15 or something. And I thought, oh, wow, that's a little expensive. But the pulled pork sandwich is only 1,000 yen. So I got to go back and try that. But yeah, I thought about opening up a Canadian themed kind of bar. There's a lot of American themed bars here actually throughout Japan. So Canadian, you've never been to Canada? You should experience. Go to Vancouver. Vancouver's nice. Open a good Mexican food place. Mexican food is everywhere in Japan. It really is. If I were to move to Japan, I would reopen my coffee cart. That might be successful. Kumoa, a Chili Moose Pub. The Chili Moose Pub? Don't think that would fly. Call the bar. Hey, bud. I'd have to do a play on Japenglish. That would have to, Japanese English. Not good Mexican food. It's very hard to find Halifax Donairs. Oh, what's the difference between a Halifax Donair and a Toronto Donair? What about an all-day breakfast restaurant? That might be interesting, Leonie. That might be good. They actually do have IHOP, from what I heard here. I don't think they have any more here. I'm not sure, but I will say this: if I do get out of the teaching English business, either I'm going to retire early, which I don't think I can, because I like to work. Bye, Gretchen. Thank you, darling. I don't know what I would do. I really don't. Drew's Bar, GoFundMe. Ramsey Silent sent me a photo. Let me see what's going on here first. Right, Ram? It was good seeing Gretchen. Thank you, Gretchen. I appreciate you being here. Toronto Donairs are suboptimal compared to Halifax Donairs. Says who, though, Robert? Says who? Who? That's it. I'm moving to Japan, opening an all-day breakfast restaurant. Well, you convince Hiromi, Leonie, and we will go partners. But could you imagine? Just waffles and eggs and hash browns and pancakes, and I could eat breakfast every hour of the day, personally. That'd be pretty cool, though. But we'd have to throw in natto and fish. Meh. Because Japanese love their natto and their fish for breakfast. Drew's Half Pint Bar and Grill. Actually, that's better. Come on. Critically, sorry, I'm stuttering because I saw Paul come in. Critically Japan, how are you? Says me. I knew it! God damn it, why do you gotta be lurking? Toronto Donairs are wannabe. I knew it. Ladies and gentlemen, Critically Japan has made his appearance. And I just wanted to argue with Robert, but now that Paul is here, yes, Paul went back to Halifax a few years ago, and he did some videos on Halifax Donairs. Okay, now I will agree. Robert, I just wanted to give you a hard time, but now that Paul's here, yeah, Halifax Donairs are the bomb, ladies and gentlemen. A bar hidden inside an all-day breakfast place. How about homemade sausage served with tapas? That might be interesting, Reed, actually. Maybe organize an international pub crawl, one-on-one in South Korea, and know the organizer, very successful. Offer dry sugar cereals like Fruit Loops and Cocoa Puffs. I'm okay with that if it will bring in customers all the more. Canadian-style bacon, scrambled eggs, pancakes, French toast. Yeah. Peel meal bacon. The bomb. Peel meal bacon, hollandaise, eggs. This is what I'm thinking. A bit of roasted or sautéed spinach. Eggs Benny, baby. Eggs Benny. Yum. Those blueberry chips. Everybody seems to like them. I still haven't tried them, so maybe I'm gonna have to go try them. Or maybe did I try them? I don't remember. But describe that bacon. I need to Google it. Peel meal bacon. Google it. Peel meal bacon. Peameal bacon. I spelled peel meal, but I didn't spell bacon. That's freaking hilarious. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like I don't know if Critical East Japan will stay or not, but like Paul does a different job than I do. He, I guess, would be ALT style work or whatever. I am more Eikaiwa style work. But I think, overall, we still get the self-satisfaction of interacting with students, watching them evolve, watching them become global citizens, or, thinking about things outside of Japan, doing sports days, summer camps, all kinds of things. There's so much satisfaction of being a teacher here in Japan, but you got to want to do it. That's the big thing. There are, and somebody had mentioned earlier, there are people that do it just to get a foot in the door into Japan and then change jobs or whatever. And those people are idiots, in my opinion. For me, teaching is awesome. But I like dealing with people, I like the people interaction, the teacher interaction, the student interaction, the customer interaction. I have friends that are not are not customers of mine anymore, that I've been invited to their house for dinner. And you're sitting there with the ex-paying customer, the mom and dad, and instead of teaching, the 5-year-old, now the kid is 17, and you're actually friends with them outside of work now. Things like that do happen, right? It's pretty cool. Thank you very much for the stream. It has been very helpful and informative. Oh, I'm just trying to do what I can. Buckle up and let's go. Thank you. It's all my experience. Other people might have different experiences also, and take it for what it is. You can get teaching jobs in Japan. Primarily people coming from overseas. They come to Japan 95% of the time, or whatever it is, 75%, whatever, are going to teach English in Japan because it's the easiest gig out there. There are good companies. There are bad companies. There's pros and cons to every company. Some people hate the company I work for. Some people think it's, pretty good because you are on your own. But then again, you're on your own teaching. Some people will complain, well, I don't have any support. Pros and cons. Plain and simple, right? So that's all it is. But hopefully this helped you out. The reason I'm doing all this today is because it's been 14 complete years with the same company. I have, without saying, obviously, but I have some great bosses. I have some great coworkers and peers. I have great customers. I work with a lot of great people. And I'm not just saying this in case you guys see the replay here. I've made a lot of amazing relationships, which I hold close to me every day. So, what did Marie say? Western YouTubers are or used to be teachers and want to become full-time YouTubers and get out of teaching. Yeah, pretty much. Right? I'm pretty sure, I'll throw out some big names there, okay? John Dobb probably taught in Japan when he first came here. Paolo probably taught when he first came here. Tikio Sam probably still teaches English once in a while. I know Norm from Tokyo Lens used to work for GABA. I think he mentioned it in one of his videos, right? Pretty much all these, even Chris Broad probably, he did teaches an ALT when he first came here. Sharla, like all the big YouTubers here in Japan that you guys probably watch that are very successful, not me, taught English at one time or another. Now their probably YouTube channel keeps them going and going and going. So, you know, it is what it is. And some people use that as a stepping stone. Some people, you know, meet their wives and keep it as a career, right? Because it works for their family. I know one guy, his wife is a nurse. So he basically works like, say, 3 to 9, 3 to 10. His wife works like 7 to 7 a.m. to p.m. So their babysitter only has to look after the kids for like 4 hours. Their days off are kind of different. So it works for them, right? Whatever works for you is cool, right? Keza, good morning. How are you? The Latimers are lurking today. Congratulations on 4 years, Lovey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Ramsey, I know John taught English, obviously. I know Chris did. I know a lot of people who don't want to admit that they taught English when they first came here, but they do. And it can be rewarding. Opportunity. Why not, right? Oh, thanks. Savas, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Long time. Cheers. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
All right.
But I think just to wrap it up, you know, if you have any good questions, you can ask me. Absolutely. Do it. And Eric Surf 6, well, Eric Surf 6 teaches university, but still teaching in Japan, right? You might have mentioned this. Apologies if I'm asking you to repeat yourself. When you moved to Japan, were you planning on staying here permanently? No. Not at all, Knight Rider Scout. Excuse me. You know, I can't, obviously, if you look at my old videos, you all know that back at that time, the reason I came to Japan is because I got my girlfriend at the time pregnant, and I moved to Japan so my son wasn't, you know, so I could be with my son. But again, at the beginning of this stream, I even said that I didn't plan on working. I did not plan on staying here. But shit happens, right? Things change. So it does. Hey, Indigo, how are you? You know, it is what it is, right? And you know, honestly, I'll keep it as real as possible. I am really tired of people saying, "Oh, teaching in Japan sucks," or "Oh, it's the worst thing to do in Japan." No, it's not. You want to be a hater, be a hater. You want to be positive, be positive. You want to be able to affect young kids' lives, teach in Japan. Plain and simple. Drew, if you want to answer a question, can you answer this question? How much would... Never mind. So, you know, like immature minds don't know how to see the long game many times. Yeah, pretty much buckle up, you know. But then again, you know, these... Carmen, it wasn't Hiromi. It was my first wife. Hiromi's my second wife. My first wife was... I met her in 2001. Teachers make good money in Japan. Hey, Panda Moon, how are you? It all depends. Like, if you are a qualified, certified teacher, you're working in a university, like, say, Eric Surf 6, probably makes a really good paycheck, right? Hi, Tokyo Drew. Hi, y'all. It's so nice to catch your live stream. The youth of today are yearning for direction and inspiration by Silver Streak. Hi, how are you? I don't recognize you. Sorry, no disrespect. But, you know, honestly, if there is anything that I can do for anybody, take this clip now. If you want to inspire, you want to touch young Japanese kids' lives by helping them evolve, by helping them grow and think globally, to learn English, but not just learn English, but to learn different cultures around the world, come teach English in Japan. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, cheers. That's the way I see it. So hopefully, this helps you guys out. If you know any young people, I'm sure Mindy's mom's not going to rush over and teach English in Japan now. But hey, you never know. Maybe somebody else, you know your son's friend that wants to come, right? Maybe this will help. Everyone is asking deep questions. I just want to know what is the Funko Pop is and what is the box on the shelf. You're talking this here. These are somebody made by a friend, Patreon member. If you guys are talking about this, I don't know if this will work. I hope it's glued down, but these were made for me. Are you talking about this? That's me, Hiromi, my coffee, her wine, and I guess the couch. If that's what you're talking about, yeah, that is it. Of course, we have the Dyson. It survived. And actually, that print, or maybe you guys can't see from the camera, is from Tokyo Lens, actually. Okay. And what is the box on the shelf next to what looks like an NES controller? I'm not sure what you're looking at there, but no idea. Outstanding. I'm too old. Yeah, we're never too old. What, you can't be old and teach English? You can. But if you're 60 years old, I don't think any company is going to hire you. Let's face it. Despite living in the country, I didn't know a woodchuck was another name for a gopher. Oh, really? Today is my birthday. Panda Moon, really? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Panda Moon. Happy birthday to you. There you go, girl. I hope you have a great day. Wow, you're an action figure. Right, Paul? Honestly, guys, I like what I do. I really think that cute dog and the last name is pronounced Beaver. I was thinking of teaching English after I retired from my current career. Old people are more reliable. You know what? You have a good point there. Thanks, Drew. You're welcome. Those Funko Pops look awesome. Thanks for showing those. Actually, one of my Patreon members made them. So Michelle Tai, still love them. She made them. I met her about 2 years ago here in Japan. She was in one of my live streams, and it was pretty awesome. Hey, Stephen, how are you? Good morning. Good afternoon. I work at a small retail store, and the customer interaction is the highlight of my day. Right, Lori? I love dealing with people. I think that's why I think, creating this community, even though I'm a small YouTuber, I think I have a good core, 100 people that are a part of this community almost every day. And I think, I'm not trying to give you customer service, but I'm trying to provide a service, so on and so forth. I think, just being a people person is really awesome. And if you are a people person, teaching in Japan is pretty awesome to be. Like, if you are so, I don't know what the word is. What is that word? Did I look really kind of funny there just now? If you can't open up, introvert? Is that what I'm trying to say? Thank you, Buck. Yeah, I just said it. Yeah. It might be hard for you to teach because you might not want to be so genki, so over the top kind of style thing where you can't provide good customer service because you're too shy to even say hello to customers. Don't bother. Extrovert, anal retentive. That was the word I was going for, Stephen, but I just didn't want to say it in the live stream, even though you just made me say it now. Thanks. you know what? Honestly, it's pretty awesome to be able to teach in Japan, and that's just the way I love my job. Plain and simple, I love my job. Anytime, pal, that's why I'm here. You will always hear about pros and cons teaching in Japan, and they're probably 50-50 on being correct, truthful, whatever. I hope this information session helps, but if I can last 14 years, going into my 15th year of being a manager, but a teacher, in the business, helping people, touching people's lives, however you want to put it and say it, then you got to be happy at what you do. You got to be good at what you do. And I do have my faults. I have my ups and downs, but I think that what I do quite well. And I come home and I bitch and complain, people. I do. But at the end of the day, I really feel like I've helped people. Whether they're a teacher, whether they're a student, whether they're the parent of the student, whether it's peers that I work with on the Japanese side, if I can help people, that is what is awesome. So, there we go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I wanted to talk about today and kind of celebrate. I'm just checking my phone. Will you buy Ethereum crypto coin now, but it's in its current surge? If not, why? Well, I'll read that later. If you don't like what you do, it's just a job, not a calling. Absolutely, Robert. I do agree. I hate my computer. I hear everything, every other word. No, that's me doing this. No. Not Drew. You're a people person. That's why you made a good casino owner. Not casino owner, casino worker. Salesperson, chef, and now a manager. More importantly, that's why you love to live stream. Yeah, I think Night Riders guy, you hit it right there. This is why I like to have a community. This is why I like to live stream. You might not agree with my opinions, but I don't care. No, I do. I have to be able to express myself. And I think that's why a lot of people are a part of this community. We're not the biggest community, but I believe that a lot of you can relate your life or your experience with maybe something that I'm talking about somewhere along the lines. And that's why you're a part of this community. So I don't have young people in this community. I'm kind of thankful for that in a way, right? Like I don't have teenagers. Thank you, Carmen. I appreciate that. Congratulations, Drew. Woohoo! Thank you. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I wanted to talk about. And I got to carry on with the rest of my day. We've got 70 likes. That's pretty freaking awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
I just got an oh, yeah. Muhammad Raiham just subscribed. Thank you if you're watching and you're not commenting or something. Arigato. Brother, I know you don't care, and I don't care that you don't care. I love you, brother. Just I'm only here because you're a Canadian? Really, Robert? Yeah, Ramsey. Yeah, 41. I don't mind letting everyone know my age. You're 41, Panda Moon? Awesome. I think we're friends on Facebook anyways, so I'm friends with a lot of you on Facebook, even that Robert Schrader guy. Okay, Carrie liked my video. I'm just checking to see. I posted on Facebook. Carrie, Aaron, Peter Lee. Okay, cool. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go. I'm not promising anything, but I might be doing a night walking live stream again tonight. Here's to another 15. Paul, no. Critically Aged Japan, no! Here's to 11. When I hit 65 years old, freaking retiring. I'm changing the channel name to Grumpy Oji-san 2.0. Or Grumpy... Angry Grandpa? God rest his soul. I'm going to have to do like Angry Grandpa 2.0 or Grumpy Oji-san. I'll definitely be changing something when I hit 65. Got you on Instagram. Awesome. Grumpy Drew-san. Guys, thank you so much. Hopefully some of this might be informative. And yeah, I think that some of this can be taken back and thought about for anybody that wants to teach in Japan or that is teaching in Japan. If you've made it this far, hey Bayou, how are you? If you've made it this far, my channel I call Auntie Yo, I'm ready. Leave a comment below what you thought about the video or have any advice for anybody checking it out. You guys are all chatting away now. One of the best streams ever. Hope this hits 1 million views. Buckle up and let's go. It probably won't even hit 1,000 views. So unless you all share on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you, everybody. I might see you later. If not, Patreon members, I'll see you tomorrow. Keep it real, keep it raw, stay true to yourself, because I always do. At least I try to. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.